Christmas message from MJ Knight. To say this year has been very challenging would be phrasing it somewhat politely. From the standpoint of financial, economic, political, and social conflicts and the concern of the situation in northeastern Europe. It is because of these challenges this year that we've had to be objective in what our finances are best spent on with our daily budgets and reassessing where our investments are best invested. I think it's like anything. That first day, first week, and first month is the most challenging to adjust to a new routine, and then after a while it becomes the new routine and lifestyle to where we don't even think about it. Keeping with that train of thought, this year has also seen what is most important to us and what is good if we can only spare the time and money for it. I believe reassessment is not only good for what is best for you to invest your time, energy and finances into, but it's also good to reassess yourself as a human being. What do you mean to others, yourself, and what is your future from this point on? From my perspective as a YouTuber, I suppose this year has taught me to focus more on the quality of my work as opposed to former years where I was too focused on the quantity. Sure, you can possibly make 1,000 videos in a year, but are they as good quality as 100 videos you put more time and effort into? I suppose one issue I have to overcome as a writer and as a performer is being able to treat, say, a review of Spider-Man 3 in the same context as that of the second anniversary review I put out of Sonic the Hedgehog. By the way, I hope you enjoyed that review. I think we as human beings in general tend to be more devoted in attention to movies, shows and games that we're emotionally connected and invested into because we grew up with a lot of these properties. So in the context of Sonic the Hedgehog, naturally I was going to be more motivated in producing a review that I would have wanted to give to myself as a kid who would appreciate this perspective on the movie. I want to talk about acceptance now. Now this is going to be slightly layered. First off, accept that there are some things and people you cannot change despite your best altruistic intentions and efforts to make them better themselves. Some people are who they are because they've been taught to be that way. This can be from the perspective of people who are toxic with narcissism, people who treat others differently because of where they're from, what they believe, and who they are. If you know some people like that, my advice, cut them out of your life. Toxic behavior breeds toxic behavior and ultimately misery. They will not change themselves regardless of the valid reasons you place in front of them and why they need to reform. They're certifiable jerks because they're comfortable being jerks. My perspective is real simple. As long as you're a decent, kind, and law-abiding citizen who means no harm and commits no harm, then you go on about your business. You owe them no explanation. Also, smile at your haters. It kills them on the inside. The second layer, accept that your past does not define who you are as a person now. It's called the past for a reason. You don't live there anymore. Own your past, rather than it own you. My buddy, who you may know better as the Rated 18 rider, I knew him as the X24 rider, said something to me at a Knight Rider convention years ago that I think I appreciate more as time has gone on. And I quote, "You made a mistake. Don't dwell on it. Just learn from it and move on." Wise words. So, learn to forgive yourself. You owe it that much to yourself. Finally, I want to talk about exploration. Exploring new ideas, new routines, even new music and new entertainment. As some of you might be aware, I parted ways with modern WWE as a fan in early May this year. I just had it with the, air quote, creative direction the company was going under the old guard at the time. The straw that broke the camel's back was the tag team title unification match between the Usos and RK-Bro. Seeing the Usos put over the latter was just too much. Now for context, I have no issues with the Usos whatsoever. They're one of the most talented and decorated tag teams in the last decade. The issue I had was Wacky Mackey having his boys faction effectively monopolize the brand in the story when you could have had RK-Bro be the first tag team since Carlito and Primo to reunify the tag belts. And the last time that happened was WrestleMania 25, and it was a pre-show match. At that point, I threw my hands up and said, "That's it, I'm out!" And I was looking around of what to occupy my time with, and I paid one of my first loves a visit that I hadn't in years. Anime. This year I have watched and bought more anime than I have done in the last 22 years when I was first introduced to Slayers, courtesy of the trailers on the Sonic the Hedgehog OVA DVD. From Vampire in the Garden to Rosario Vampire, Darling in the Franxx, Violet Evergarden, and to most recently, Call of the Night. Seriously, that show is amazing. Subscribe to High Dive for $4.99 a month. You will not regret it. One new subgenre I stumbled on to by pure accident. I was looking for non-copyright lo-fi hip-hop to play as background music for my live streams, and I came across a playlist that simply said, quote, Japanese future funk. And I'm like, future funk? Is that like Jamiroquai's type of funk? I listened to the first track on the playlist, Benson Cut by Future Girlfriend, and I was hooked. I was like, what the fudge? I want to know more. And 8 months later, I avidly listened to Strawberry Station, Desired, Fiji Fire, and my go-tos in Future Girlfriend, Kiss Me Nerdy Girl, Baleen, and Night Tempo. Seriously, those people are amazing at producing the tracks that they have. More and more people are turning to future funk because it's giving people what they want. No politics. It's offering pure escapism and a reminder of simpler, more carefree times. I hope you find this year's message comforting and inspiring. May every dream you ever have come true. Good night from the night, and Merry Christmas.